Here I am, know it's been a while. I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away. Had to find the person I'd become.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Amina. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you for subscribing. So today I decided to do a video about how I started my online boutique or online store at 22. So yeah, I was 22 when I started my online store, and today I'm 23. Fun fact. But anyway. So, okay, everything I have is written on my iPad. So if I keep looking down, I'm trying to read the notes that I wrote down because I don't want to just go off on a tangent and start talking about extra things that I don't need to talk about and make this video really long. So, yeah, let's just get into it. So, I am actually the owner and founder of Alvida Collection, and that is actually the name of my online store or online boutique. Some people know it as an online boutique, some people know it as an online store. I own it, I founded it, and yeah. So I actually started my online store when I was 22, and now I'm 23 years old. And yeah, so I'm just gonna basically talk to you guys about starting it, how I started it, a little bit of a background and all of that. And I thought I would do this into a series on my channel, basically like where I talk about business and how to own an online store, how to run an online store, how to start an online store, how to create a brand, how to create a brand, and how to, and all those things, like everything that, like anything that you'd want to know about starting an online store, mainly in South Africa. So I'm basically just gonna, this series is basically gonna focus on everything business and everything on starting your own company, starting your own brand and all of that, and how you go about it in South Africa. And yeah, so I'm gonna basically make it into a little mini series with a few episodes. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it yet, but we shall see. And yeah, so this is like the first episode, mainly just some general information about my own store and how I started it and all of that. So yeah. Okay, so the name of my online store, as I already said, is Alvida Collection. It is spelled with an E at the end. Most people pronounce it as Alvide, but no, it's actually Alvida. The E is silent. I basically cater to women who women who want modest clothing. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a person who dresses modestly in order to shop on my store. There are items that you can buy and you can basically make them modest if you want to make them modest, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. So it's basically like a general women's boutique, but we mainly try to focus on modest clothing. So I started my online store in 2019. Oh yeah, if I keep looking down, I'm actually reading notes off of my iPad because I didn't want to go off on a tangent in this video. So basically, I started my online store in 2019. The reason I started my online store was because every time I'd go to shops, like personally to shops in South Africa, I wouldn't find clothes that were modest and clothes that I wanted to wear that were modest and cute and things like that. So then I turned to online shopping, and I started online shopping for clothes overseas. And I noticed that the clothes that were available online were gorgeous and they were modest, and all these brands and things like that were all overseas brands. So I was like, why isn't anyone doing it in South Africa? Why doesn't anyone have an online store in South Africa with modest clothing that is actually cute and actually nice and actually like nice enough for someone who's 22 years old to wear? So then I spoke to my husband and I spoke to my mom, and I was like, you know what? I want to do it, seeing as I don't have anyone who's doing it and I don't see anyone who's doing it. I want to do it. So how I actually went about starting the online store, the first thing was actually to do some research. I did a lot of research, and I mean a lot of research. I was online all the time. I was actually in Cape Town during the time when I was deciding to start my online store, and it was during the holidays of 2018 and around November. And I was researching and researching 24/7, going on Google, trying to figure out how do you start an online store, how do you build a website, how do you do all these things. Are there any platforms that you can use that are already present and things like that? So I was researching, googling, and things like that. And then um, in December, in December, I had all the information. Basically, I had all the information I needed to start the online store. Basically, found out how you build a website. So I researched on how to build an e-commerce site and what to do and things like that. And during my research, I actually found a platform known as Shopify. And Shopify is actually well known. Well, most people know it. I'd never heard of it until I actually researched. But yeah, Shopify was a common one because most people that I watched videos from, like people that I watched on YouTube, they were using Shopify. So I was like, okay, I want to see what the Shopify thing is. Does it work in South Africa and things like that? So I found Shopify, and I liked it. I was like, wow, this is nice. It was a built platform which already had the cards. You didn't have to build a website. All you had to do is like sign up and you pay monthly fees and things like that. So yeah, I basically signed up for Shopify. I was like, okay, I'm doing this. And then I researched how to get clothes. You know, before obviously you make a website, you'd like to have the clothes that you need. And yeah, but I did that before I found the Shopify. Okay, yeah, my mistake. But anyway, so I actually found I was looking for clothes and where to buy clothes, different vendors and things like that. And most people were talking about vendors. I don't know what a vendor was, but a vendor is basically people that sell clothes for wholesale, like wholesale clothing. And so I researched those people and different vendors or wholesale vendors that were selling clothes. I was looking mainly, I was trying to find people that were selling them in South Africa, but I didn't find them, and hopefully one day I will. I don't know, inshallah. But yeah, so I didn't find South African vendors, so I had to go overseas, internationally. So then I researched international vendors. I researched vendors in LA. Is it LA? Yeah, LA, California, America in general, because that was the main place that everyone talked about. There was vendors in America, vendors in China, vendors in different places. And the vendors that the Americans used were actually like the clothes that they got, they'd get them from Chinese shops anyway, overseas, and then they'd sell them with their prices and sell them to everyone else and things like that. So yeah, so most Americans usually use Chinese vendors, and that's where you get your vendors from China. And yeah, so I basically found vendors, or yeah, I found multiple vendors, and I was like, okay. And then I started messaging different vendors, and these were international vendors, keep in mind. So I was messaging them and asking them like the process, how does it work, things like that, looking through the clothing, and like trying to figure out the styles that I'd want to offer and the different clothes that I want to offer. And I found vendors, and then I actually found one specific vendor that I fell in love with because me and her clicked. We work amazingly together. She's amazing, their company is amazing. So then once you have your vendor, then once I had my vendor, basically I had to start ordering clothes from her. So I made my first order, and then the clothes came, and then excuse me. So then I had a photo shoot to basically shoot all the clothes, and then I started uploading them onto my website. And yeah, So then, so now basically I was still busy using Shopify. And after a month, no, it was after a few months, I think. Yeah, it was after a few months that I actually stopped using Shopify. Sorry. So that was when I actually stopped using Shopify. The reason being, there are just certain things that were not working for me on Shopify. I felt very restricted in the things I can do with the website on Shopify. I didn't feel like I had freedom to make the website what I wanted and make it the way I wanted it to look like. Because basically, Shopify, they'll give you a theme and you have to stick to that theme. Like, that's the only thing that you can use, basically. So I was not very happy about that. So I stopped using Shopify, and then now I needed to make a website. So in order to make a website, I had to make a website from scratch because I didn't want to use any platform that was pre-made, because of the fact that I just wanted certain things on my website that these pre-made platforms didn't give me. So, excuse me, yo, I keep burping, hey boo. So excuse me. So once I had the once I left Shopify, what am I saying? So once I left Shopify, I then was about to start making a website. I had no idea how to make a website, but because I have an amazing husband who knows everything about websites and tech and all of that, he basically helped me make a website. So we started making a website, me and my husband. We were making the websites. I was basically deciding on the things I want on the website and how I wanted to look and the different features that I wanted on it, and then we built the website. And then so once I built the website, now it was time to basically add the photos that I'd taken from the photo shoot onto the website, as well as set up the website and set up the e-commerce side of it and all of that. So I did all of that and I set it up, and then I started adding clothes to it. And then so I started adding clothes and naming the clothes. Like every item on my website is named by me. And then once everything was uploaded, I had to decide on the payment gateway that I was going to use. Basically, the how can I put it? It's called a payment gateway, but what it is basically a software that allows for people to make payments like securely, so they can make payments using credit cards, their debit cards, cash, EFTs, and all that. So basically, like, you get platforms that do that. And the two most common platforms that I know of that are available in South Africa are actually PayFast and Paygate. Yeah, Paygate and PayFast. Those are the two most common payment gateways. So I'll actually do a separate video in this series about the different payment gateways and how they work and how to sign up to all of them and things like that. So once I make that video, I'll basically go into depth with the payments and stuff like that, the payment gateway. So I added a payment gateway, then I added an emailing platform thing. What is it called? It's like where you send newsletters to people, all of that. That was all of that was added by me on the website, and I did all of that. And then once that was done, I had a website. So I had a website, everything was done. I made sure that everything works, everything is functional. And then I actually opened my business. So basically it's just like you press activate, or I think activate, something like that, and then the website is basically active and people can start shopping. So people started shopping and things like that. I'll go into depth with how I made my first sale and how I got people to actually start buying from me, and how I do all of that and how I did all of that as like a little advice video type of thing, because obviously, like, I don't want to go into depth with all these things right now because of the fact that this video is gonna be long. So I'm gonna go into depth in different into the different categories that I mentioned today in different videos of the series. then if you have a specific thing that you want to find out, you can basically watch an episode on the series that I'm gonna conduct. So once the business was open, I started marketing it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those marketing platforms. I started using that. And then drew in traffic and drew in people like to come shop with me and things like that. And then people started buying, alhamdulillah. That happened. And then from there on out, it was just basically that's basically like in a nutshell how I started my online store. Okay, so I did research, then from the research I found out about vendors, from the vendors I found out about I got the clothes, from there did a photo shoot, from there made a website, uploaded onto the website, and opened the store. And that is basically like in a nutshell like how I actually started the business, the things I did. So in order to actually, how can I put it, to go into depth with everything, I will definitely be making separate videos about the different categories. I'll be doing videos about the websites, how I started my website, what I added to the websites, and things like that. And with the websites, if you actually want a website for a cheap price, I actually started doing websites for people. So you can follow my page. The name of the page will be here. So you can actually follow the page, and I will quote you on the type of website you want, and I can make a website for you. So and then there were different things that go into the business, like business cards, thank you cards, and things like that. And I will show you guys my own business cards. So an example of my business cards personally, this is a business card, and it has all our information. It has a little slogan, our email address, my phone number, as well as our Instagram page and a Facebook page and a Twitter page. And that's basically it. And this is like our logo. I'll put it up on the screen properly because it's reflected. But anyway, and then I also have thank you cards. These are the thank you cards, which look like this. I'm covering this circle thing because it actually has a 10% off coupon code for people that buy. So when you order something, you basically get that card to order. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was insightful. And I hope that the series that I'm about to start with the whole starting a business is helpful to someone somewhere out there who's trying to start their own thing. Go for it. Don't be scared, risk it, because literally, okay, I can't say that what do you have to lose, because you can lose money, but just try. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Try if you want to shop my store, or you want to know, or you want to see the things I sell. I will leave excuse me, I will leave my Instagram, Alvida Collection Instagram, here, and you can follow us. So I will also leave a 10% discount code, let's say here. I like this, guys. I've always wanted to do this. Okay, now I can. So that's the discount code if you guys want to actually shop our store and get 10% off. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, and bye.